This video will explore the fascinating topic of phase changes in matter, focusing on melting and freezing. Can you guess what word describes these images? Notice how ice cubes turn to water, ice cream softens, and the cartoon character melts. The word is melting, a common phase change we see all around us. Now let's try another word. What do these images of bricks, rings, and tires represent? They are all examples of a solid state of matter. What word comes to mind when you see water, milk, and juice flowing? These images represent the liquid state of matter. Finally, observe these frosty images of a cold person, a frozen brain, a car covered in ice, and a person trapped in ice. What process do they illustrate? The word we are looking for is freezing, the opposite of melting. Today, we will delve deeper into the concepts of melting and freezing. Let's begin with an activity called Melt Me. Consider what happens to a candle in ice when heat is applied or removed. First, explain what happens to the particles of water in ice as it turns into a liquid, using the particle model of matter. Next, what would happen to the liquid on the saucer if it were transferred into a small container and left inside the freezer overnight? Consider a candle. Explain what happens to its particles as it turns into a liquid, using the particle model of matter. What do you think would happen to the liquid candle wax on the saucer if it were left out for a few hours or overnight? Let's define melting. Melting is the process wherein a solid turns into a liquid. This typically occurs when heat is added. When heat is added, the particles in a solid gain energy and move further apart, transitioning from a rigid solid structure to a more fluid liquid state. Now, let's explore freezing. Freezing is the process where a liquid turns into a solid. When heat is removed, the particles in a liquid lose energy, move closer together, and arrange themselves into a fixed, solid structure. The freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. To convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, use the formula. Degrees Celsius by 1.8 plus 32 equals degrees Fahrenheit. For example, 5 degrees Celsius is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's test your understanding. For the following pictures, determine whether each one demonstrates melting or freezing. What is happening here? What process is shown in this image? What phase change does this picture illustrate? Observe this image. Is it melting or freezing? What process is depicted in this visual? What phase change is occurring in this image? And what about this last image? Now, on a quarter sheet of pad paper, please answer the following questions. First, what is the melting point of water? Second, what process describes a solid turning into a liquid? Third, what process describes a liquid turning into a solid? Lastly, give at least 2 examples where melting can be observed. The melting point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. A solid turning into a liquid is melting. A liquid turning into a solid is freezing. Examples of melting include ice cream melting and ice cubes turning to water. For your assignment, in your science notebook, please answer the following question. What is the difference between an atom and a molecule? Thank you for watching this video on the phase change of matter, specifically melting and freezing. This video was prepared by Ms. Joy D. Santillan.